As the president of the African Development Bank, I am proud that my colleagues and I have been running with Kenya and scoring development goals with Kenya. Kenya has, Mr. President, a special place in the history of the African Development Bank since its establishment in 1964. The very first project ever financed by the African Development Bank was right here in Kenya in 1967, and that's 58 years ago. The first one links Eldoret to Tororo in Uganda, laying the foundations for a transport infrastructure that drives commerce between the countries of the Great Lakes and the Indian Ocean regions. The second road, which connects Nairobi to Kilimanjaro region in Tanzania, has become a major trunk road for commerce and tourism between both countries. Since 1964, Mr. President, the bank has financed a total of 167 projects with financial commitment of $7.8 billion US. But I am especially proud of what we have done in and for Kenya over the past 10 years since I was first elected president of the African Development Bank in 2015. Since I was elected president, the bank has financed a total of 57 projects with a total financing commitment of $4.44 billion US. That means, Mr. President, we did in the past 10 years under my presidency, 57% of all of the African Development Bank's financing in Kenya over the last 60 years. And I must tell you how special Kenya is to me. The African Development Bank's current portfolio consists of 45 projects worth $4.1 billion. And these projects, Mr. President, are having huge impacts across Kenya. For example, the bank supported last mile connectivity project for electricity has helped to increase the population of Kenyans connected to the national electricity grid from 41% in 2014 to 76% in 2024. Put simply, the electricity connections increased from 2.42 million households to 9.7 million households. Many of you may not know that the bank helped to make this happen. You are not alone. On one of my field trips to the Rift Valley together with Cabinet Secretary then at the time, Charles Kitter, we walked down a dusty road in one of the villages that benefited from the last mile connectivity project. Right in front of us was an elderly woman whose name was Grace, not my Grace, that's my wife. She was asked by the Cabinet Secretary if she knows the African Development Bank funded the connection of our village and other villages and households to the electricity grid. She said, "I do not know the African Development Bank." When further asked if she knows Dr. Adesina, the president of the African Development Bank, she said, "No, I do not know him, and where is he?" Of course, I was right beside her. She then said, "All I know is that we once were in darkness, and now we have light."